Yeah, what do you have on yours? 202? All right, welcome everybody to the Indian Wells Valley Board of Directors Administration Executive Committee meeting. I'll call the meeting to order at, when I have 202. Any committee public comments? Nope. All right, number three, concealed carried weapon. So what's the reason we're back on this again? Remind me. Is that because of the policy procedure book? Who's handling it?
Yeah, there was a reference to carrying of firearms in the personnel manual, so legal is looking into it and should have a report at the regular board meeting.
Okay, it sounds like it's pretty simple to me.
It can be.
Yeah, it's just something that needs to be changed and brought back to the board, which yeah. I have to have a discussion with myself. This is terrible. Where's Stan when you need him? No. Okay. Number 4, request for office closure. I know that you can look for a recommendation from the board, but since we don't have another board member here or from this committee, we'll just refer this to the board for approval. We're gonna be done here pretty quick. I know, except for maybe the agenda, draft agenda. All right. I know that at the workshop that there were a few items that weren't covered, right? One was the water view update. One was the report on water losses and consumption and production, which I see he has here.
Yes.
The next one was general manager goals and priorities, which I don't see here.
Because we, go ahead.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Where'd you ask for that to be removed?
Oh, did he? Hey,
Yeah, he felt it was more important to get your guys' goals and objectives than,
Ours are gonna probably be pretty quick
yeah.
because, you know, I could tell you what mine is in one word, that's adjudication.
And staff's goals and objectives are usually tied into the capital improvement project, so
Okay, and that was gonna be under, let's
that's
see,
part of the budget.
prioritize project and goals development. Is that? I'm sort of confused. I was thinking we were gonna see the same thing I saw on this.
Well, some of it's redundant, so that's why some stuff was taken off.
Okay,
Review goals, prioritize goals. It's just kind of,
yeah, yeah, exactly.
I think some of the things on the workshop agenda is a carryover from when we used to have a person come and facilitate the workshop.
That's right,
So they
exactly.
used to actually write everything down and then go through and prioritize and all that, so.
Yeah, like I said, this board of directors goals and priorities is gonna be pretty quick. It typically isn't even if the workshop. It just mentioned a few things and we write them down. And then you have review of any outstanding issues.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna leave that, what do you guys think? I mean, what should is it covering everything or because typically we go through what projects and priorities you guys have completed in the past year and then what the where you stand with the new ones. Is that even on here?
So this one is typically just a review or an update, status update of our January goals from the January workshop.
Right.
And
So-
so
We can review them again in January.
yeah, other than that, I mean, we don't have a whole lot of updates. I mean, the Northwest transmission line's going forward. There's,
Can we cut this shorter even? Can we just leave it on water view update, reports on water loss and consumption? And if we put one item under there, it might be general discussion on goals and priorities.
Sure.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
yeah, we can do that.
And then I'll run by the board
And then
and
it'll
then run
just,
by you guys.
it'll just, yeah, cover everything.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I like that. Just an A.
Question of goals and priorities.
Yeah, general discussion of goals and
Then
priorities.
just remove review any.
You can actually
outstanding-
put board, staff, general manager for that line item. That should cover everything on here. Let's do that.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons we had originally taken off going through that big old spreadsheet redundantly
remember
was just
that.
because workshop was already so long, so
Yeah.
it would just,
Well, this workshop was exceptionally long. There was way too much on
Yeah.
here in the first place. And it shouldn't have been like that. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I remember the spreadsheet. You go through everything
Mhm.
you did throughout the year, where you standing.
once a year of that's probably sufficient.
Yeah, once a year is probably sufficient on those.
Mhm.
And I agree. So that shortens that up. Everybody agree?
Mhm.
I agree. Mel, where are you? Okay, then of course, Go on to the consent calendar, plan. What's this, again, the Drinking Water Administrator Program request for qualifications? What's that about?
You'll hear all about it at the board meeting. No, I'm kidding. You look at the P&E minutes. I go through it. Now, this is what we may be asked to do in order to assist the Inyakern CSD. So if the state asks us to, we may be asked to become the administrator of the
Okay.
CSD, and there's a process to go through in order to become one. So one of the handouts that I had given out yesterday was like the handbook on what's expected of an administrator and what you have to do and all that kind of stuff. So that's what the discussion will be about. Staff is looking for direction from the board, whether they want us to submit a statement of qualifications in order to become an administrator.
So is this come from the State Water Resources Control
Mhm.
Board?
Yes.
So sounds to me like there's two options on the table for them. One is to have an administrator out there, and another is to have someone consolidate with them. Is
Well,
or
the
do they
administrator,
go hand in hand?
they go hand in hand. They can go hand in hand, or we could be an administrator. It took us to the point where they feel like they're back on their feet kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely for a board discussion there. It's and
The
you'll,
board can say they don't want to do it, but the state could say you have to do it, so.
okay.
Yeah.
And you have enough information to inform the board about the complications or the costs or whatever may be involved with getting it done? Or is it fairly,
The costs, the costs that we would incur being the administrator are covered by the state.
okay,
There will be some cost, you know,
well,
going through the process,
the
but
application,
yes.
everything like that,
Mhm.
okay.
James from the Water Resource Control Board, the part for financing, stated at our board meeting or that they cover if the consolidation is what we're going with.
Right, yeah, I think it was $65,000 per connection, I thought they
60,000 per
stated.
connection is.
Yeah, which sounds like it's
So
adequate.
if we're going just to be the administrator, they may not cover. it.
Well, in the handbook, it does say they do cover it. They cover the administrative expenses.
Oh, you mean any expenses we incur
Yes,
being the
even if we
administrator?
decide that we have to do construction or whatever, it says it's covered. So,
Okay. And I know you'll discuss this at a board meeting, but just for my own feeling, what does that, what does it being an administrator mean?
that's all in the handbook.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
one of the reasons I want you guys to go through it is to take a look at what
Are
responsibilities we would
basically-
have.
Yeah. We're basically.
We would be running the
place.
show.
We'll be running the show. It'll be interesting to see what the rest of the board has to say about that. It's almost like a stopgap that the State Water Resource Control Board's looking for. It's a stopgap. We need somebody to do something and until it's finally decided we're going to consolidate.
And even if we don't go through the process of officially becoming an administrator, they can, even and as an emergency, assign us as being the administrator anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, like I see. Yeah, Sanchez already, they would. They're really leaning in that, they're leaning that direction to us. It looks like for just about everything that's going to happen.
You know, I mean, they've given the CSD some time to do certain things.
I was commenting on their election out there. I noticed that only one incumbent has put his name in and one other person, I don't recognize their name. So the other incumbents haven't, there's actually three up for election like here. No one's put their names in. And I'm saying, well, I can see why, maybe. Interesting. Have you guys met and talked about, I know it's not there yet, but the possibility of consolidation? Okay. You're well up on the ins and outs and everything's going to happen with that.
We've met and have a plan of what it would take to get it operational.
Yeah. And that'd be the thing to me is, and that's why I think the state's looking for an administrator, when someone to keep it operational until a complete consolidation can be done. That's the only thing I can think of. Is the handbook pretty heavy duty? Is not bad?
It's like 7 or 8 pages.
Okay, cool. All right, so that's I guess there's no really recommendation from this committee on that. We just, it's just for board decision, board discussion.
Yes, they did want to defer. The
Yeah.
committee did defer to further board discussion.
Yeah, just defer to board discussion. Okay, number 2, Rademacher Way Mainland Extension. Notice of exemption. Is, you're going to present the notice of exemption for them and that'll be ready to go?
Mhm.
And we don't have any problems with that? Anything that's going on with that? Okay. You'd be prepared for a long discussion with Stan about what a GA is involved.
He was, no, he wasn't, yeah, yes.
Well, yeah, actually, you discussed it a little bit. Yeah, I'm sure at the, yeah.
Remember who's on my PD?
I think the biggest
Stan
concern
and Mallory.
is that it's, well,
I got
that's,
a chance to discuss it yesterday.
yeah, just that, I think his concern will be that they're going to pay for it.
Yes, and
Okay.
there will be in the future an agreement between the GA and the district.
Yeah, you.
For that.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right.
Jim's working on it.
Boy, Jim's pretty busy.
Yeah.
Okay, and we have the concealed weapons, which we talked about. This is for, to me, that's again deferred to the board for discussion. And are you going to be prepared to bring something back for the meeting for approval on the handbook? You just want to hear from the board first?
We want to hear from the board.
Okay.
It's in the personnel manual now, so it's
Mhm.
just a matter of the board wants to strike what's currently in the personnel manual or leave it the way
Or
it
leave it
is.
the way it is? Okay.
Yeah, Jim will have something for you guys.
What does it say now?
It prohibits firearms.
Just prohibits under discipline? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, again, defer that back to the board. Office closure, same thing. You know, my recommendation is yes, but defer it back. Committee, half the committee says yes, the other half wasn't here, right? To this resolution, like I say, I want to go ahead and leave it here. If we don't have it ready, then I'll be prepared to strike it at the very beginning of the meeting and hold it off to the next one. Or if we have something that isn't agreeable. Indoor heat illness prevention plan. Haven't they always had one, OSHA?
No.
always been for the outside, hasn't
It's
it?
always outside. This is something brand new.
Well, what's this about? People who work in buildings that have no air circulation?
Yeah, it's more
Okay.
for that. I mean, it encompasses all indoors, but it seems the way it was written was for foundries or nature or things of that nature.
Yeah,
But the way it's written, it can encompass tanks or any structure that has a ceiling and walls.
sort of like, okay, I thought that was for Mel. Yeah, sort of like hazardous entry permits and things. Anything that has a
Right.
ceiling and walls has to be,
Yeah, so
Yeah,
the
those-
confined space permit already has temperature on them. We just have to make sure that we're monitoring and keeping those things on record.
which I don't think is a big deal. What do you mean keep on record if you have an area you need to be concerned with?
Yes.
Because I
All-
mean,
we
I
have
can't
to-
see keeping a record for the admin building and the warehouse and things like that. Yeah. Okay. So the staff's going to make a recommendation there, I take it.
It's, the policy's been written, and so it's just presented to the board for
Approval?
adoption, yeah.
Okay. Groundwater Authority looks good, adjudication. And everything else. All right. With the changes I talked about, I think we'll just move ahead with this. And just for a note, Lauren, always have a copy of the agenda for me. And I know you ask me every time you send an email, just assume I want a copy of for the meeting. Yeah, 'cause I like to keep my notes on it where I am and things like that. Yeah,
You're right.
I don't need a whole packet, but definitely that. And then we'll go on to future agenda items. I'd like to add somewhere in this agenda that we have on here regularly, just like we do on the finance one about we talk about finance all the time. Fraud risk is something about FOIAs. I've seen a lot of FOIAs coming through here, and I see that some of them are being answered. I never know where we are with them. So just a list of, outstanding FOIAs and have they been answered? Just something that is a standard on this. You could put it number 3 as a standard number 3. What's that?
They're called public records requests.
Probably, yeah. Freedom of information, whatever. Yeah, I call them FOIAs.
I think that's a federal thing. I
Is that
don't
a
know.
federal
I
thing?
think so.
Thank you. FOIA, yeah, public request, public information request. We call them PIRs.
We have one outstanding.
Right.
now. We don't
Yeah,
have any outstanding right now, actually.
I thought it would require on my phone. I still see a couple outstanding. I got those.
Just finished them up.
Did we finish those today? But I just want, even if the answer is there are none, just so we know they're going on, because I've seen a few sort of all of a sudden get dropped through the cracks.
You want that on admin exec?
Yeah. I don't think that's the best place for it. We'll just cover
Yeah.
it, just make sure we have it.
That'll be the best spot.
Is it regular? Okay, I'll correct my note here to public information requests. Anything you guys want to add? I see a snicker from you. You want to add something, right? Oh, he's probably messing around. Okay, okay. Okay, so we'll adjourn the meeting, I guess, at 2:17. And don't know where our replacement went. I guess I'll just sit